Hello, sir, madam. I apologize that I cannot understand your language. I also apologize for the deception. But Rakesh hasn't been studying medicine. He wants to be an artist, sir and madam, and he's really very good at it. All the pressure that you put on into him to be a doctor is just driving him crazy. Please, you have to accept that your son has chosen a different path. Yes, it's true. I am sorry to both of you, but my heart is not in medicine. It is not who I am meant to be. No, this is not one of my childish whims. I know this in my heart. I know what I am, in my heart, and a doctor is not it. For the next few minutes, there's little else but yelling coming from the other side of the internet connection. Rakesh stands next to me with the pained look every child gets when they're yelled at by their parents. I feel for him, but I know it had to be done. Yes, I understand, Father. Perhaps you both require more time to cool down. I will speak with you another time. His parents say something else, and then Rakesh responds, this time in Urdu. Then the line cuts and Rakesh slumps down on the bed. That was harrowing. I do not know if that was the right choice, but it is made. Perhaps you're the best. We shall see. I think you'll find if it will lift the burden from you. I think you'll find it will lift the burden from you, Rakesh. You'll see. Yeah, I mean, it had to be done. Sorry that I kind of had to, take that away from you, but them's the breaks. Okay. Yeah, we're very close to our goal, so I'm just gonna keep at it. Yup. Okay, give me a call tomorrow and we'll talk a bit more, okay? Sounds great. I think I'm gonna see if Dominic wants to go out tonight. Oh yeah, I'm so glad you two got together. You're so cute with each other. I blush as I wave goodbye to Carmen. I hope with finals so close we can have a bit of fun tonight. Though I might just try to make some time to make sure my homework is finished. No, we're doing this. I'm hanging with Dominic. I'm about to go see where Dominic's gotten off to when my cell starts to vibrate. Oh, hey Dominic. I thought you were home. No, sorry Anne, I got caught up in class again. Sorry to do this, but can I ask you to come help again? I sigh a little, disappointed that we're stuck grading papers again. But Dominic is a TA. 20 minutes later, I'm at the science building. Unfortunately, things look a little dark. I open the door to the classroom Dominic told me to meet him at. The lights seem to be out. I'm not sure what's going on. Suddenly, I see a tiny flame down near the professor's podium. As I watch it illuminate Dominic, who uses it to light. As I watch it illuminates Dominic. As I watch it illuminates Dominic, who uses it to light 3 candles. Why did I have to keep repeating that over and over again? 3 candles on a table covered in food. Surprise! I hope you like lobster. Oh, Dominic, the way to my heart, man, is my stomach. Are you kidding? What? Dominic, this is incredible. Well, we've both been busy with our studies lately, so I head down to the table where Dominic kindly holds a chair out for me. Dominic must have gone all out here. There are lobster tails, some cheesy rolls, and some angel hair pasta. Oh, I could use some of that right now. Jeez, Dominic, how did you manage all this? This looks fantastic. Did you cook this? Huh. No, sorry. I'm not that amazing. It's bought. I've been saving up for a while. I felt bad after our last date. Besides, I just want to do something special. Well, you've certainly done well. Together we dig in and begin eating the wonderful meal. Whoever did cook the lobster was definitely professional, as it tastes great. We try to chit-chat a bit, but between all the different savory flavors, my mouth is usually full. Finally, we finish everything off and sit back in our chairs resting. You've certainly outdone yourself, Dominic. I'm going to have to do something special for you. No, it was my pleasure. I had a lot of fun getting everything ready. Maybe next time you can show me how to play your MMO. You seem to have a lot of fun with it. I haven't played video games in a while. It would be nice to learn. Yeah, I really want Anne to trying to appreciate some of Dominic's hobbies. It's very important that you try to do that. Oh wow, yeah, I'd love to show you. I haven't gotten a chance to try some of the new low-level stuff yet. For a while, Dominic lights up and talks about his game. I'm looking forward to trying it with him. Anyway, we should get this cleaned up. Oh yeah, I'll help. Dominic blows out the candles and turns on the lights so we can get everything cleaned up. Together we head back home. Aww, that's so sweet. Alright. Tonight's the big night. Everything I've worked for comes down to tonight, and I think it's the party. Okay, I think we've got everything ready for tonight. Max is ready, we've got lots of attendees. Now we just need to handle the bill. I was just about to go down and put our check-in for the hall tonight, which means it's time to make sure our money is ready. Yep, definitely. Of course, it's not too late to call it a day. Maybe just get your friends together at the house and have a quiet drink together. We'd be disappointing a lot of people, though. I know, I'm just hoping you don't feel trapped. I want you to have fun tonight at your own party after all. No need to feel stressed. Yeah, I went through all this trouble. Oh, wow, look at this. A few hours later, I'm standing in a rented party hall watching everything get set up. Max and his band are on the stage, getting their sound check done and everything sounding great. Our bartender is setting up his wares over in the far corner. He seems like an entertaining guy, so hopefully he'll be good for the party. Carmen is supervising the ping pong tables being set up and making sure the keg goes to the right spot. Carmen, this is an official building. Is it, okay that we're serving alcohol in here? Oh, don't worry so much. I know the lady who does the paperwork for this place. We have a deal. As long as they don't see it, it didn't happen. We're in the clear as long as nobody calls the cops. I won't be calling them, will you? Fair enough. I spend the next 20 minutes or so all over the hall making sure everything is set up properly. Hey, Anne, anything I can help with? Oh, Sally, I don't think I've got anything right now. Can you make sure the band is going to be ready? We're going to be opening the door soon. Sure thing, boss. Thanks, love. I chuckle embarrassedly. I'm not even sure when she came in, but she's probably just here to visit her boyfriend for the show. Sure enough, she runs over to Memphis. Oh, that's right, so it was Memphis. Memphis and Sally. Planting a kiss on him before giving me a thumbs up. At least I know the band will be ready. Finally, it's time to open the doors. Are you ready, Annie Belle? As I'm going to be, Car. All right, close the curtains. You've got 20 minutes until curtain, Max. He waves and nods as the curtain closes. I take a deep breath and finally open the doors. The line is down the block. It takes us a while, but we finally manage a system to get people in. At last, the line at the door starts to die down, and I figure it's about time to start the main event. I gather up my courage and grab the MC's mic. You can do it, Annie Belle! I smile at her and head up onto stage. Looking out over the sea of expectant faces makes me more than a little nervous. I can't believe they actually all came to a party I'm throwing. Finally, I steel myself. This is what I've come to college for. This is why I left home city and traveled out here, so that I could break out of my shell. So I could stand in front of a crowd like this and not die of shyness and embarrassment. Greetings, everyone. I'm Anne, your host for this evening. I'm so glad you could all come to my party. There's a loud round of applause and quite a few cheers. I smile and try to keep moving forward. I know a lot of you are freshmen like me, and we're getting towards the end of our very first year of college. This has been an incredible journey, and I'm so glad that I could share it with all of you, even if I don't necessarily know you just yet. Hopefully by the end of the evening that will be different. That's very charming. Good, you're doing great, Anne. The point is, we'll still have a long way to go, and I, for one, am so happy that I have had all my friends to help me so far. I just know that together we can support each other and do even better in the years to come. The crowd cheers and yells for me. It's probably the most touching thing I've heard all year. I try my best not to let the emotions overtake me, smiling at the crowd. So, without further ado, allow me to present the first of the evening's entertainment, another freshman just like us, Back Alley Flash! I step back, gesturing towards the curtain as it opens. Max steps up to the mic, looking over the crowd. Hey, give a hand to our hostess, everyone. Now, let's do this party right. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Max's band sets in for their first number and the crowd starts getting into it. For the next 45 minutes, they play their hearts out, filling the room with great music. About halfway through, there's a bit of a rumble over near the bar. I grab a couple of the bigger guys and we luckily manage to calm it down before it gets too heated. Luckily, it seems to just spur everyone else on. The bartender even makes it part of his show. I take a pretty heavy sigh of relief there. As the band plays, the audience gets dancing. I try to lose myself in the crowd a bit. I dance with whoever comes my way, just having a good time with the strangers at the party, wandering through the dance floor. Well, how about Dominic? At one point, I spot Carmen, and I think about going to dance with her, but then I see that she's dancing with her Kesh. Ooh! Go Carmen! And he's got his hands on her butt. And she's got her hands on his. Well, I'm certainly not about to intrude on that. That's really cute. I'm glad Rakesh found Carmen. Finally, I spot my roomies dancing in a circle in the crowd. I make my way through and start dancing with them. They all grin and wave. At last, the band finishes their set, even the encores. The crowd stops to cheer. It was really a fantastic show. The curtain closes, and everyone goes back to talking amongst themselves. Suddenly I feel a presence behind me, and Max appears in the circle with the rest of us. Dominic comes up behind me in the quiet, hugging me softly. I know I did a good job. It's just nice to hear Dominic say it too. Well, is everyone having fun? The roomies look around at each other. Seriously, Anne, this is a great party. We're all so proud of you for putting this whole thing together. Everyone else nods, grinning at me. My heart swells with pride to know I've done such a good job. Well, the night's not over yet. I'll bet dish duty for the rest of the week I can wipe the floor with any of you suckers at beer pong. Yo, you are on. We all laugh as we head off to enjoy the rest of my big night. Aw, I'm glad that her party seemed like it was a huge success. Alright, kids, you got finals next week, so I'm sure you've all got plenty of studying to do. I could try teaching you something that's going to be on the finals, but really, why should I start teaching now? The professor throws a slide on the projector that says, study before we walking out of the room. Half of the class opens their books and starts studying. The other half starts standing up to pick up their things. Not sure which I should do. Let's play the event. Well, if I'm going to study, I'll do it in my own place. I pick up my things and head out the door with a bunch of other students with the same idea. I make my way over to the cafe. I figure I'll get a bite while I study. Wow, Anne, I guess the gang's all here. I look towards Sally's voice and see that all of my roommates really are here. They've all gathered around the table in the corner. Looks like even Isabella took a break from work to sit down. We all just kept coming in one by one. I suppose our great minds have thought alike. Dominic waves at me, smiling and patting an empty seat. Is everyone else's professor as crazy as Professor Task? No, he's the only a-hole with tenure around here. I think the schedule's all just worked out. Wow, we almost never get to do this. This is so nice. Yeah, we should get together more often. Most of you are pretty all right. Isabella punches Max in the arm as we laugh. It's been a long year, hasn't it? It really has been. Lots of fun, though. Yeah, I think this has been the most fun I've ever had this year. And you managed to learn a lot, too. I've been quite impressed with your results. Aw, thanks. Honestly, you've all been so nice to me. I really appreciate everything you've all done for me. How about I get everyone a snack today, if you're not already full? Everyone cheers, and a few moments later, I approach the counter to make an order. As I wait for the other clerk to get my order ready, I look back at the table with all my roommates, friends, sitting around it. This has been a good year, and frankly, I can't wait to see what happens next. I love this scene. This is such a great scene to see them all there. The next 2 weeks fairly flew by. Between my finals and everyone else's, I barely got any time to spend with my friends. I put a lot of work into this last final, but it's not really my last one. Sometimes the idea of 3 or more years of this seems incredibly daunting, but I know I need my education. So even though there's a lot of hard times ahead, I know that payoff will be worth it in the end. I probably wouldn't even be on campus today if I hadn't needed to sell back some books. As long as I was here, though, I went ahead and printed off my grades for the year. Despite all the craziness this quarter, I've even managed to keep my grades up. It's nice to see all my hard work paying off in my grades. As I walk back towards, I never really got my stats up for Dominic. It's really hard. Like, I think I tried maximizing. I felt like I took virtually every opportunity I could to boost up like my stats in those areas, but I just couldn't catch up. I think there was 1 week where I napped during like some job points, but even then, I don't think I would have been able to hit those numbers. So I'm wondering, like if I did something wrong, because I mean it's on medium. I would think you'd still be able to hit those numbers at medium difficulty. As I walk back towards Latin House to pack some things for a trip back home, a couple people wave at me. Oh, I think they must have been at the party I threw those weeks ago. I feel proud. I can look at them in the eye as I wave and smile back. They smile at my acknowledgement before going on their way. My party was at least fun for people, if not the greatest party in history. I'm just happy I managed to throw one. Finally standing back on the porch of Latin House, I think over all the things I've done this year. Smiling to myself, I open the door and head inside. Only to be greeted rather suddenly by the floor. I cough a few times, placing a hand against my forehead. I'm burning up. How did I let this happen? Maybe I pushed myself too hard during finals. Maybe I let too many purple monkey dishwashers. The next time I find myself conscious and coherent, I'm lying in my bed. A bowl of soup is on my end table along with my favorite book. I'm just about to pick it up when I hear the door reopening. Hopefully she's not allergic to the over-the-counter, "Oh, you're awake." "Hi, Dominic, did I collapse?" "Yes, I found you at the front door." "I was so worried. I'm glad you're back up. Don't move around too much. You probably worked yourself sick. I went and grabbed some medicine at the store, so hopefully you'll be fine with some bed rest." "You're so sweet to me, darling." "What, don't you get how important you are to me?" "Come on, let's get some medicine in you." Dominic starts to say something else, but I can't really hear him. I'm already passing back out again. He really is a sweetheart, though. I can't believe I lucked out to be with such an incredibly thoughtful guy. I'll have to remember to thank him when I get better. So yeah, that's the last thing I remember during my first year of college. Heh, it's been years since I thought about my college days. As I look back at the time I spent in Latin House, it was definitely the start of a new chapter for me. The world seemed full of new possibilities, and I think I really wanted to seize all of them. I think I'm happiest, though, that I managed to meet all those people and still keep my grades at an acceptance level. I graduated with honors, with a library science degree, and a minor in English. Most people never expected any less, but I'll admit I'd had to ignore people pretty badly sometimes to keep myself out of trouble. Whatever did happen to the others? It's hard to remember everybody these days. Let's see. Max dropped out of college after only 2 years. I still buy his CDs when I see him. He never exactly reached meteoric stardom, but he was certainly a fixture of the college scene for the next 6 years or so. I think he was always disappointed he didn't catch on huge, but he managed to make his living from his music, and I know that made him happy. Sally managed to get arrested 3 times during the course of college, though it was usually just at some protest or something, so she tended to get off with just slaps on the wrist. Eventually, her willingness to be stupid in the name of a cause got her noticed by a World Animal Foundation. She eventually managed to get her degree. Now she does publicly for the foundation. Surprisingly, she and Memphis actually stayed together through the whole of it. They really did their best together. I don't think it ended until a couple years after college. Oh, but I've left out Dominic, haven't I? Dominic was so far ahead of me that by the time I managed to graduate, he was finally getting his master's degree, which meant we were both on the job market right out of college, which is fine by us. We had each other. We were young and in love. While I had my job with the campus library, he kept on working as an RA. The market wasn't exactly great for the type of job he was going for. Note, you earned the particular ending because the sum of the stats associated with this character was below 600. You can discover a better ending if you meet or exceed these requirements. I'll do the better ending, guys. Don't worry. Of course, nothing lasts forever. Dominic eventually got a job doing R&D for an automotive company. Something about crumple zones and that sort of thing. Of course, that meant he had to move halfway across the country. I guess I could have gone with him, but, well, I think we both knew it was over at that point. We had begun to drift apart as our lives moved past their college phase. It was the sweetest thing while it lasted, but afterwards, well, I suppose it's only natural for young romances to run their course. He still writes on occasion, though, so it's not like we never keep in touch. As for me, well, I learned so much that first year at college, not the least of which was to be myself and not to be so afraid of people. I mean, I don't think I got over myself entirely in that first year. It took me quite some time to really figure out how to be me. I worked at the campus library for a few years after graduating, but when budget cutbacks hit a few years later, I had to get a new job. But yeah, everything else about me you probably already know. And at any rate, that's good enough for me now. That's good enough for now. I feel like I've been talking about myself for ages. How about you? How was your college experience? Sweet. Hold tight. We're gonna go back and I'm gonna get the best ending for you guys. See you there. Alright, so I managed to finally get the stats that I needed in order to get Dominic's perfect ending, and it's really tough to get. I ended up having to virtually ignore every single one of my other friends, because I pretty much had to skip event after event after event after event in order to hit the stats that I needed. So I pretty much, I just had to blow off and completely ignore everybody else and just focus on Dominic. And that's really all I had. That's really what I had to do in order to get the required stats. So I don't know. I didn't remember it being this tough with Max. I mean, maybe it wasn't. I just forgot. But anyway, so Anne just passed out and she's feeling sick and ill. So Dominic just says, "Come on, let's get some medicine in you." "I'm sure I'll be fine. You don't have to go to the trouble." "I insist. Come on, Anne. Let's get you through this." I reluctantly nod my head. I watch as he pours the medicine into a spoon and brings it over for me. Oh, Dr. Dominic. I love all of Anne's stuffed animal toys here. I love that penguin. The stuff is foul, but imagine I feel a bit better. I guess I'm not above a placebo effect, though I do hope this is a good medicine. How's that? Okay? Hopefully you'll feel better soon. I hate seeing you like this, Anne. Oh, sweetie, it's okay. I just caught a bit of a cold or something. I'll be on my feet in no time. You'll be no such thing. You'll be staying in a warm, comfortable bed until I say you're all better. Or until I let Dr. Rakesh operate. He'll probably paint your liver paisley. I laugh at his joke, which I immediately regret. The pain passes quickly. But I playfully punch Dominic in the arm. I'm dying. Don't make me laugh. But laughter is the best medicine. No, medicine is the best medicine. Laughter, number 3. Laughter is number 3, after ice cream. Well then, I'm glad I brought you some actual medicine, though I did miss the ice cream. Sorry. I mean, I can help with that. As many of you might not know, I make some pretty awesome homemade ice cream. I can't believe I ended up with such a sweet guy. Dominic has certainly seemed happier and more calm since we got together. Thanks, honey. I'm glad you were here to take care of me. Of course, Anne, I'll always be around for you. Just like you're there for me. Definitely. Oh no, I hope you don't get sick because of me, though. Well, if I do, it just means you get to baby me. In fact, that sounds pretty good. Dominic grins, then leans in to kiss me. I think about pushing him away, but it just feels right. When he finally pulls away, I can feel the medicine starting to take effect. I think part of it was the kiss, too. My eyes flutter, and the last thing I see before I fall back asleep is my wonderful boyfriend pulling the sheets up and kissing my forehead. Nice. So yeah, that's the last thing I remember during doing my first year of college. Hey, it's been years since I thought about my college days. As I look back at the time I spent at Latin House, it was definitely the start of a new chapter for me. The world seemed full of new possibilities, and I think I really wanted to seize all of them. I think I'm happiest, though, that I managed to meet all those people and still keep my grades at an acceptance level, and totally ignored them in this playthrough. I graduated with honors with a library science degree and a minor in English. Most people never expected any less, but I'll admit I had to ignore people pretty badly sometimes to keep myself out of trouble, which we did, except our boyfriend. Whatever it did happen to the others. It's hard to remember everybody these days. Let's see. Oh, but I've left out Dominic, haven't I? Literally, I don't have any other memories except for Dominic. Which, for me, is worth it. Because Dominic is worth it to get his perfect ending. Dominic was so far ahead of me that by the time I managed to graduate, he was finally getting his master's degree. Which meant we were both on the job market right out of college, which was fine by us. We had each other, we were young and in love. While I had my job with the campus library, he kept on working as an RA. The market wasn't exactly great for the type of job he was going for. I was the first to stop working for the school. When I started making real money, I got a place and invited Dominic to come live with me. He agreed, and we spent the next couple of years in a lovely apartment together. We still managed to get into some trouble, but they were truly idyllic days. Finally, one day I gathered up all of my courage, and I just asked Dominic to marry me. I couldn't have imagined I would have done it when I was younger, but this was newer, wiser me. Good on you, Anne, for being the one to pop the question. Dominic, of course, said yes, and we had a lovely ceremony in Paris. Oh wow, this is awesome. Dominic settled into working on safety testing for a local car manufacturer. We've been together ever since. As for me, well, I learned so much that first year at college, not the least of which was to be myself and not to be so afraid of people. I mean, I don't think I got over myself entirely in that first year. It took me quite some time to really figure out how to be me. I worked at the campus library for years after graduating, but when budget cutbacks hit a few years later, I had to get a new job. But yeah, everything else about me, you probably already know. And at any rate, that's good enough for now. I feel like I've been talking about Midsole for ages. How about you? How was your college experience? Okay. Whew. Finally. Ugh. I felt that getting Dominic's like maximum perfect ending was so hard, because you really had so many of the stat boosting events. So many of the stat boosting things on my calendar happened during a lot of the Dominic events. So in order for me to do the Dominic events, I wasn't actually getting the stats that I needed. And the biggest trick was I just simply needed to rest more. I needed to like sleep. I needed to sleep more so that my stat boosts went up even higher. That was the one thing that I found out pretty late in the game. And so it was basically a combination of that and pretty much, as I said, virtually ignoring all of my other friends, which is a shame. I feel like I was even playing on easy as well, just because it was just so frustrating. I played on easy, and still I had to go to great lengths to actually hit 600 stats, like 600 total stats on organization and I can't even remember. It's so late right now, guys, because I wanted to get this done before I went to bed, and it's like literally 4 in the morning, past 4 in the morning for me. Ugh. But you know, it's Dominic, so I have to do it for Dominic. He's worth it. But you know what I was saying? It's just hard. It's just really hard to get the max, and I feel like it shouldn't be that hard for this type of game, but that's just me. Yeah, I'm so glad I got a chance to go back to playing this game again. It really is such a fun game. I mean, putting the challenge of it aside, it really is a fun game. It's so well done, and I love how Anne is so different from Max, and her storyline has a lot of similarities to Max, and a lot of cool stuff about it was being able to see things from Anne's point of view, and yeah, like they had enough differences for Anne's route that the replayability is really great there, just to see what happens when you play a totally different protagonist. I love Dominic's romance. I enjoyed it thoroughly. If I was being completely honest, I kind of enjoyed Dominic's a little bit more than Max's and Rakesh's. I am curious about Anne and Max's relationship. I don't know if I'm actually going to LP that, because I feel like there's still... I've come back to this game once, and I think that if I were to play Anne going after Max, or Max going after Anne, I would probably do that off camera. But anyway, no, I had a great time. It was so good to come back to this game and to finally go after Dominic. And I guess my biggest disappointment is I kind of had to burn a lot of bridges and not make any friends with anyone else. It just seemed so much easier to balance, you know, developing a relationship with Rakesh and still have a pretty awesome friendship with the other people. Like, that didn't have to suffer. But with Anne, it was just so hard for some reason. Unless there's something buggy, unless a bug got introduced, it was just so much harder. Because I'm pretty sure I when I was playing Anne, that I did pretty much the same strategy in scheduling out her daily schedule that I did with Max. I'm pretty sure I did it pretty much a similar way, and yet it was just it seemed exponentially more difficult to really, you know, be able to keep the relationship with Dominic strong and maintain any semblance of relationship with anyone else. Very, very disappointing about that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, if you watched both, what you thought of Rakesh and Max versus Dominic and Anne. I can see some people thinking that Dominic is like one of the more boring characters. I don't care about boring, whether a character is quote unquote boring or not. Like, to me, like, I feel like having a boring character who's just really sweet and nice to you is all I need. I don't need there to be like any extra drama or extra anything else. That's just me. Because we all got enough drama in our lives. I don't need it in a game personally. Not what I'm looking for in a video game, especially not in a dating sim like this. So, yeah. Thanks, guys, so much. Thank you, Winter Wolves, for making this fantastic game. Next up in my, at least, Otome agenda, not necessarily next up in my, in my release of my LPs, but again, since I'm on a kick right now of revisiting past dating sim visual novel Otomes. The next one I'm planning on replaying again is Camp Buddy, and trying to go through Taiga's route in Camp Buddy. So hopefully you guys can check that out if you're interested. Until next time, everybody, love yourselves and love Anne and Dominic. Mwah.